Hey everybody, welcome to my office at the university. Sorry about the lighting, a little dark, but I thought I'd give you a quick update on Hurricane Ian and now Tropical Storm Ian and its effects across the Carolinas this weekend. So you can see this on the satellite. So it basically cut across Florida yesterday, causing massive destruction across the western side, southwestern side of Florida. Tons of power outages, millions of people without power from the high wind, lots of flooding, tons of rainfall. That storm system moved actually a little faster across Florida than the models had anticipated earlier in the week. And now you see it's the center of it is about right here. You can kind of see the clouds swirling right in there. It has now moved over the Atlantic Ocean. And because it crossed Florida so quickly, and now it's over the Atlantic, it's no longer going to weaken. In fact, it's moving over very warm water right in this region, and it's likely to regain hurricane strength later on today. You can see this better on the radar, so you can see exactly where it's spiraling. So you can see the center is now over water again, which is generally conducive for development. So over the next 12 to 24 hours, as it's moving northward, again, it's moving over warm waters, and so it's quite likely that this will regain hurricane status of winds greater than 75 miles an hour. In fact, right now, it's just under hurricane status. The winds are about 70 miles an hour inside this thing. Sustained. Now, where is it going to go and what impact is it going to have on us? So there's its current position. You see just off the Florida coast. Notice the pressure here is 990. The lower that gets, the stronger the storm becomes. So as you can see, as it moves northward here, it's projected to lower its pressure by a little bit more, and so it's probably a hurricane here as it approaches the South Carolina coast. It looks like it's going to make landfall sometime around 10 or 11 a.m. tomorrow is what it's looking like. But well before then, you see way earlier than that, the rain shield reaches the South Carolina coast overnight tonight. Here in the Charlotte area, it looks like rain will start sometime around 3, 4 in the morning. It's going to start off lightly at first, but you see all these bands of heavy rain, and they're going to move inland pretty quickly. And as that low moves on shore, kind of near Charleston, you can see on the north and western side, huge amounts of rainfall. These are very heavy amounts of rain. And then the other thing to notice are these pressure lines. The closer they are together, you see how close they are here, the faster the winds are going to be. So from Charlotte and points south and eastward towards the coast are going to be experiencing very strong winds. Starting at around lunchtime is when they're going to really pick up. And then as the core gets closer to us, the pressure gradient tightens even more. And by 4 or 5 in the afternoon, that's probably when the winds are going to peak. And you see the core is actually forecasted to go right over us, but it's weakening as it moves northward. So in fact, the worst winds will probably be when the core is still kind of just east of Columbia. That's when we're going to get probably the heaviest rain and the most wind, somewhere between, I'd say, 1 and 2 in the afternoon and about 8 or 9 in the evening. But it's going to be a prolonged time of very high winds, very strong wind gusts, and very heavy rainfall for us. So if you look, this is the wind gust potential here. This is above the surface. This is about 30 feet off the surface, and this is often what can come down to ground level. And you see by 8 a.m. this morning, you're seeing gusts all on the 50s and 60s across the coastal plain of South Carolina. And as that storm moves inland, you see all across our region gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So it's going to be a very windy day. So if you have things outside on your porches and things like that, I would certainly take the time today to take them in, as we've not seen winds like these across the Charlotte area in some time. The other problem is going to be the rainfall totals. So rain is going to start sometime overnight tonight from east to west. You see Charlotte by 8 a.m. we've already seen about 1/4 of an inch of rain. By lunchtime we've seen 1 inch of rain. By 8 p.m. it's almost 3 inches of rain. And then this thing should wind down by around 8 a.m. Or so on Saturday morning. But you can see widespread rainfall totals greater than 4 inches of rain. And oftentimes the computers underestimate this with tropical systems. So I think a widespread 4 to 6 inches of rain is likely from basically I-40 and south and east, as well as a pretty significant wind threat. In fact, the Weather Service just posted all of these counties in red. So basically from Hickory and points south and east, all these red zones are now in tropical storm warnings, meaning winds sustained of over 35 miles an hour with gusts into the 55 to 65 range. So again, it's going to be a very windy day tomorrow. We're going to see quite a bit of rainfall across the Charlotte area. So again, I would take this afternoon, and if you have stuff sitting out on your porches, I would move that in. And just keep that in mind. When we're getting 3 and 4 inches of rain, the ground is going to be really saturated, and these strong winds, this is the kind that topple over big trees. So I would expect some power outages and some trees down tomorrow as well. So be safe out there. The timing of this, probably going to be raining right when you get up in the morning, rain throughout the entirety of the day tomorrow, and the winds really ramping up as we move through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. So stay safe out there and take care, everybody.